Alright, so here it is, as I promised a long time ago, my Sega Master System collection. But first, before we start that, I just wanted to show off some of my Sega Game Gear games. Oh, well, all of my Sega Game Gear games. I don't have that many. Because Sega Game Gear is pretty much like a handheld version of the Master System games a lot of the time. So, let's have a look. Okay, of course we've got Sonic the Hedgehog. I love these little cases. They're kind of... I think Game Boy definitely started doing this stuff first. So it's kind of strange because these were like graphically superior to the Game Boy, but you know, I guess all that matters is the games at the end of the day, and they were more fun. And it's probably because the console was a lot more affordable too. That's probably why this didn't really take off. But you know, back then people didn't just worry about graphics. And this shows because the Game Gear didn't really succeed over the Game Boy. So yeah, we have Hook. I haven't played much of that. From what I did play of it, it was quite fun. Of course, haven't seen this guy before. Must be a new one. Yeah. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehogs. They're a must-have. I recently bought that one. Just a while ago, and of course Outrun. I haven't played that either. But yeah, I was actually gifted the Game Gear later on in life. It's not a console I grew up with. A friend of mine gave it to me that I worked with, and he's like, well, I know you collect retro games, and I know you'll take really good care of it, so here you go. And I was like, oh wow, that's awesome, thanks so much. So yeah, that's really neat. It's a console I'd like to collect more for, but at this point, I'm happy with what I have. So, for the main event, onto the Master System games. And here they all are. I hold this console very dear to me because I don't know, it's a console that I grew up with. So, we'll have a closer look at them all. Of course, you've got your Sonics, I always start with those. So, yeah. To me, like, these are a lot slower than the Mega Drive versions, but I actually probably like them more, to be honest. Maybe it's because I've got a little nostalgia there for it, but I don't know. To me, they're just a really fun game. I remember the Warehouse, it's like a department store here in New Zealand. They had like these tube televisions set up, and they had this on playing on it, and you could just go out and play it. And yeah, that's what I'd do. So, well, Mum looked at the clothing and all that, you know, boring stuff. So, yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I remember playing that at a friend's house at primary school, and I really wanted a copy. And so, later on in life, I saved up and got these. You know, I worked my butt off. You know, a lot of the time, I with most of my games, especially my GameCube collection, sorry, I worked my butt off in the forestry during the school holidays while everyone else was just having fun jamming out video games. Because, yeah, my ex-stepfather was like a forestry trainer, so I got a job at like unhooking chains off logs, and it was a lot of money at the time. So I saved up and bought a lot of this stuff through that. So I worked my butt off to get this collection. So, yeah, Sonic Chaos, this one I hold very dear to me because it is one I got for my birthday. I really wanted a Sonic game. It was my first Sonic game that I ever owned. And I was like, Mum, I want a Sonic game. No, I didn't say that. I was usually quite a polite kid. But I was just like, hey, you know, Mum, I really would like a Sonic game. Pretty please. And she ended up getting me this game for my birthday. But the funny thing was, she accidentally left the sticker on it, and the manual. My mum put my initials on it because I'd take it to school, and I'd look at it. I was a weird kid, autism, you know. But yeah, here it is. Here, the Decker sticker for $119.95. So you know, games are pretty expensive now, but this is exactly what we paid back in the day, and the only difference is there was a lot less content, but when you bought it, you got the full freaking game. Like, that's the thing. So yeah, not really the best Sonic game, but I loved it to death. And you could play as Tails in this. So I'm guessing, like, that would have been a pretty big deal back in the day, too. So, yeah. I was actually really stoked to get this. This one's a little beat up, as you can see. That was always missing out of it. Just the way it was. But I ended up getting a replacement copy, and I just keep this one because it as beat up as it may be, I hold it very dear to my heart because it was given to me by my mum and for my birthday. So yeah. What we got? Let's have a quick scan over here. We got Gauntlet. That one's really fun. Sort of a top-down arcade game. I think that's the one where is it Gauntlet for the Master System or Gauntlet for the NES? Where, like, if you shoot the food, it's like player 1 shot the food. It sounds real funny because the voice is like really unclear because of the quality of the it's reading off a cartridge. Lion King, I didn't really play much of that. Yeah, I don't think I've played the Master System version of that. I've played the Mega Drive version. That was another game that was kind of set up in stores back in the day. Incredible Crash Dummies, or just called Crash Dummies in this case. This one's kind of a rare game, but I got it on Game Boy as well. I found a copy later on. And it's, hang on, I'll just get to a bit of comfortable position. There we go, instead of me stretching out like I'm doing frickin' yoga or something. Alright, so, yeah, I got it on Game Boy as well. I first hired this game out when I was a kid, so I kind of knew what I was looking for later on when I was collecting. So, yeah, it's kind of a rare game, but it is very fun. World Grand Prix is probably the most common game you'll find bundled with a whole bunch of other games if you're collecting. It's, you know, not too bad. Pretty fun little racing game. Sega Classics. There's a warehouse sticker. The warehouse, oh, I can't focus on that. Yeah, I can. The warehouse, $29.99. So it's been slashed down in price, so that's quite cool. It's like, I like to keep the stickers on because it just, you know, it marks its history, and I think that's really neat. But yeah, World Grand Prix, it's not too bad. It's one of the games I owned back in the day. I had a whole bunch of them, like Double Dragon and everything, and then as I upgraded like different consoles, my mum and stepdad made me get rid of them, like all my older stuff. So, and yeah, little did they know later on I would save up and buy a whole bunch of games. So, Aladdin. This one is actually really cool. I love the music in this game. I actually probably prefer it over the Mega Drive version. I never owned the Mega Drive version. And the Mega Drive version is pretty fun, but I actually really like this one. I think it's really neat. It's got like, there's one where you're like running through the streets and stuff, and there's like bouncing barrels and all this kind of crazy stuff going on. So yeah, oh, there it is there. He's jumping over the, he's jumping over the barrel. Yeah, very fun game. Yeah. So, what do we got next? Shinobi? We all know Shinobi. This is actually a really cool version of it. Master System version is one of the best in my opinion. I probably like the arcade version, but I also love the Master System version. It's definitely one of the best games out of them. So yeah, Shinobi's pretty neat. Tennis Ace. I don't really talk about sports games much, but this one was quite fun. It was another one that I had in my collection before I had to get rid of it all. So yeah, that one's quite cool. I collected that one again. I try and get manuals with all my games as well. So, but there's the odd one that doesn't have it. Desert Speed Trap. I was given this by my friend Marty, who had it lying around his house. And yeah, it is a pretty awesome game. It's not too bad. It's fucking hard though. Like, it's really hard. But yeah, most of these games were, but it was, you know, it's kind of like Get Good Quick Kid, you know. It's not like they just pat you on the butt when you screw up and be like, oh, and spawn you in the same
you know, at the same area where you die. They make you do the whole thing again until you learn the patterns. And that's what it was about, memorization and learning. And people actually had to use their brains, believe it or not. So yeah, that's Desert Speed Trap. Chuck Rock, that's a fun wee platformer. Using the rock as a mechanic where you jump, you know, throw it down and jump on it to climb up to higher platforms and things like that. Sorry, I'm stretching out like I'm doing yoga again. But yeah, Chuck Rock is not too bad. Let's have a wee look at the back here. My mate Steve knocked up an arcade stick for the Master System. So, so it was quite neat. This game plays really well with it. Same with Double Dragon. Oh, there goes a warehouse sticker on the back. The warehouse. Ass Sega games. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty ass. It's not the best Master System game, but it's kind of fun. Pretty mediocre. So what do we have here? Master of Darkness. Oh man, this game is a beast. Like, this is like one of the games I played when I was younger, and I was just blown away by it. This is Sega's answer to Castlevania. So, if you haven't played Castlevania, you'll have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. But, honestly, this is like one of the best freaking games on the Master System. So, yeah. Very much like Castlevania. There's a creepy level here in the Wax Doll Museum. This one here. And, man, I need to cut my nails. Don't look at that. Yeah, there's a creepy level here in the Wax Doll Museum, and see, they're all kind of set into the background of it, but when you walk past, they'll flash and jump out, and, like, yeah, it was actually quite scary for a frickin', you know, an 8-bit game, and, like, the sounds were just creepy as shit, and it's actually a really, really fun game. Honestly, highly recommend it, even if you get an emulator and jam it out. It's freaking awesome. See, Sega got all these wicked IPs, and they just don't do a damn thing with them. It's all about the freaking hedgehog. Okay, moving on. We have Terminator 2, the arcade game. Haven't really played too much of this. I don't have a light gun for my console, so I kind of just don't bother with this. But it is a light gun game, from what I gather, or you can use a controller. Personally, I don't really... I've had a quick game of it. It's not too bad. But yeah, another one that was bundled in with the games that I actually wanted. Strider! With his purple friggin' stretchy suit thing. Yeah, he's a bit weird, to say the least. But this is the one I played when I was younger. It's hard as fuck, but it is... Let's see if we can focus on that. Yeah, we can. It's hard as fuck, but it's yeah, pretty good game. Pretty good game. Of course, I mentioned Strider 2 in my Mega Drive collection, but I never really played that when I was younger at all. So yeah, I love these bosses and that. They look so cool. Anyway, moving on, we have The Lucky Dime Caper starring Donald Duck. This game is... Any Donald Duck game is a beast, like back in the day. These were really, really good. So you have to find Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They're gone missing. And you gotta like... Yeah, you got like a big-ass hammer or mallet. And you just go around taking out bumblebees and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's really hard. I don't even think I've finished it yet. It was like look, there's like a granny with a baseball bat, like, hang on, I can't focus on it, why? Don't want to focus. Sorry about that. There we go. Anyway, yeah, it's a granny with a baseball bat, and I thought that was awesome. So, let's have a look at the other side. Okay, and jumping back over to the other side, here we have Star Wars. I never really owned this one as a kid, but yeah, the original sort of Star Wars Master System game. It says Jones on it, not James. This is someone else that owned this previously. Never really been a big Star Wars fan, to be honest. I guess I don't really appreciate it for what it is. I guess I find it kind of boring, the movies. But yeah, I can see, like, I can appreciate the fan base, and I get it. You know, these are the same people that probably find like Super Mario or Sonic boring, and that's fine. But yeah, I tried watching the first film, and I was just like. Anyway, what have we got? Heroes of Lance. That, I don't know, that is, actually, I think this one's an RPG as well, like a side-scrolling RPG. Yeah, it is. It's a beast. It's actually quite good, I remember. Never really played this one growing up, but again, it was one that was added to my collection later on, and through fate, and we ended up, well, I ended up enjoying it, so. Alright, the Ninja. Check out the cover of this bad boy. It looks pretty cool. It looks like someone drew this in, like, I don't know, primary school or something. But I love simple kind of cover art like this. I just think that's neat. See, Wonder Boy's got it too, but it just looks so cool. The Ninja, it's sort of like a top-down game where you're just throwing ninja stars at all these bastards that come at you. It's really, really hard. Like, I can't even pass the first freaking level. That's how hard it is. Okay. I should commit like one day and just like tie myself to the chair and freaking force myself to just finish the first level. It's probably going to be really hard. We've got all the Wonder Boys here, so we'll start the first one. This one's a lot different to the other ones. The other ones play more as a side-scrolling RPG, like side-scrolling platformer with RPG elements. This one, you are, well, I'm told later on, like, that it was pretty much a clone of Adventure Island, or Adventure Island was pretty much a clone of Wonder Boy. I don't know which way it goes around, but yeah. So basically, you are this little guy here, Tom Tom, and you got to get your girlfriend back, and you got to throw these like hatchets at like snails and things that are in your path, and you got to collect fruit. You've got like a vitality bar there, and it slowly depletes, and you've got to collect fruit to keep it up, or else if you run out of vitality, you die, and that sucks. Okay, Wonder Boy. This is where it started getting into the side-scrolling RPG thing. The second Wonder Boy, which is in Monsterland. I actually really enjoyed this game when I was younger as well. It's still one of the best side-scrolling RPGs like out there, out of the Wonder Boy series. Okay, so Wonder Boy and Monster World. I've got it the wrong way around. It should be Dragon's Trap first and then Monster World, but what the hey? This one is kind of a harder one to find on the Master System. Haven't really played too much of it, but from what I have played, it is pretty good. It's quite cartoony, cute sort of graphics. Again, going with the side-scroller platformer RPG sort of style. Very, very cool. Very cool game. And yeah, obviously, Wonder Boy 3 Dragon's Trap is more of the same, except for you change from like, you can change to like a dragon or a, yeah, you can change into like a mouse as well. Which each character will allow you to do different abilities, so it's quite neat for the time. Tasmania. This one here is a beast. The Mega Drive / Sega Genesis version, in my opinion, just doesn't really... It's not as cool. I actually like this version better. Very fun. It's more playable, this version. More friendly for newcomers. Bomberade. That's a really fun sort of shmup. So yeah, highly recommend this one. Sort of, there's not really that well known sort of shmups for the Master System, but from what I know anyway. But Bomberade is a beast. Like, it's really cool. Thunderblade's another one, but we'll get to that in a bit. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Farmers for $24.95. This game, Farmers is another department store. This game is pretty awesome. I never really played the Mega Drive version when I was younger, but I did have a copy of this, and I bought it again later on in life, obviously, because it was one of the ones I had to get rid of. But yeah, really, really fun sort of. I don't even know. It's definitely a platformer. Very, very fun game. So next up we got Mickey Mouse Land of Illusion. Anyone that's played Castle of Illusion knows how punishing that game is. Land of Illusion is more sort of like user friendly, I guess. Beginner friendly. That's the correct term. Because yeah, it's really, really fun game. I remember hiring this one out when I was a kid, and I didn't even want to give it back to the video store. It was just so awesome. But I obviously I did, and yeah, I ended up buying it later on because I just loved it so much. Really, really fun, adventurous kind of game. Like every weekend, I would be allowed to hire out, or just about every weekend, I'd be allowed to hire out one game for the weekend, and if that game was good, then it was a winner. This one was always booked out, but I managed to get it a couple of times. But yeah, and if the game sucked, then you're stuck with it for the whole freaking weekend. So you either turn it off and just play Alex Kidd, which is built into the console, or you nut up and shut up and just play the game you hired. So yeah, that's how it was back in the day. There was no magazines or internet back then to know if the game was shit or not. Jungle Book, that's a really fun platform game as well. That is, I can't remember where I first played that. Oh yeah, I hired that one out as well. Yeah, that's right. I hired it out from the video store. And yeah, fell in love with it. And so I bought it again later on. Streets of Rage, the Master System version. The most important aspect of a Streets of Rage game is to be able to play with your friends. Well, this one, it's not two players simultaneous. Like, unlike Double Dragon, this one is, you take your turns. Like, you play as one of the characters, and then you die, or whatever, and then it goes to the next player. So that kind of sucks. Doesn't really have proper two players. So yeah. In fact, I think there's lies. I don't think you can play two players at all. From what I remember. I remember the back of this lying. So yeah. That sucks. But yeah, if you want a proper Streets of Rage experience, I suggest playing it on the Mega Drive / Sega Genesis. Not on an 8-bit console. But yeah. It's still a fun game, don't get me wrong, but it's just, you can play a better version, so why wouldn't you? What have we got? McDonald's Global Gladiators. Yeah. McDonald's made games back then. It was awesome. Yeah, this one's probably about as fun as working there, from my experience. This one isn't as good as the Mega Drive version, but hey, I appreciate them porting this to the Master System as well. See, those graphics look pretty good for the. Okay, no, they're not. They're shit. Looks like a Game Boy, like that one there. Like, what is that? Anyway, I'm jerking the camera around. Right. Spider-Man. Spider-Man versus the Kingpin, I think this one is. But just says Spider-Man. But yeah, this one was quite fun. Awesome Wii platformer. Very hard though in the later levels. There's this one level with lightning bolts, which in my opinion is just complete bullshit. Because you don't know where to go. If you go the wrong way, you just get pelleted with lightning bolts and they don't stop. And you just die. So there is a way around it. I'm sure there's Let's Players on YouTube that that, you know, have finished it and that, but like when I was a kid, that was really frustrating. It's a really stupid, poor level design, and yeah, I hated it. But it's a fun game until that point. So yeah, awesome like web mechanics and stuff where you swing from your web and kick dudes and all kinds of stuff. Ghouls and Ghosts, also known as Ghosts and Goblins on the NES, but this is the Master System version of it, and I think it's pretty cool. I think it's more playable than the NES version. The NES version is balls to the walls hard, and this one is, I mean, it's a good challenge, but I think it's more doable than the NES version. There's less enemies, that's for sure. But yeah, it's quite a fun game. I recommend giving it a go if you can get your hands on it, or you know, ROMs and emulators or whatever. Enduro Racer. This one I played at a friend's house when I was a kid. I love the music, and I love the like the game itself. Like, I'm not really a massive fan of like racing games. I wasn't when I was younger, and but this was a really fun game. Motorbikes, you know, instead of cars, and isometric view, and you've just got to go over jumps and watch out for all this kind of crap in the middle of your path. It's quite cool. Very fun game, very cool music. And speaking of cool music, we got Double Dragon. Just look at that cover there. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, 2 players. I used to play the crap out of this when I was younger with friends, and yeah, it's really, really neat. So it's good to be able to play with a buddy. The graphics are really neat as well. I originally owned Double Dragon on the Game Boy. That was the first copy of Double Dragon I ever owned. And then I ended up getting a Master System, and this was in the bulk lot of games that I got with it. And obviously I had to get rid of the whole thing, so I ended up buying it later on. So yeah, that's Double Dragon. Very fun. Ninja Gaiden, or Ninja Gaiden, as we called it back in the day. Very, very challenging game. Very fun, though. I managed to finish this back in the day. Well, not back in the day, but actually, yeah. Just a few years ago, actually. I managed to finish it. It's so hard, but I find that the NES versions are a lot harder, but this one is definitely a blast. Definitely give it a go if you can. If you want to see Ninja Gaiden in like proper sort of in Sega colors, basically, because yeah, look at the blues and it just looks so cool. Definitely give it a shot. All right, Agassi. Never played it. Never played it at all. I'm guessing, yeah, just tennis. Even today, I still don't think I've even put this in my machine. 2 players, I don't know. I think I'd probably prefer Tennis Ace, to be honest with you, because it's one I know. It's a really fun game. Asterix. Used to be a real fan of the Asterix books at primary school. Anything bright and cartoony, I absolutely love. I think this game actually helped me become a fan of Asterix. I didn't even know what an Asterix was back in the day, but yeah, I hired this out, this very game right here, and oh, it's just a blast. It's so fun. You could play 2 players after taking a turn or whatever, but you could play as Obelix as well. And yeah, I think any Asterix game is pretty good from what I've seen. Even now with like the PlayStation, like PlayStation 4 like games and things like that, they all look quite neat. So we've got Asterix in the Secret Mission. That one's also fun. I think I hired that one out. I don't think I played The Great Rescue. I don't know back in the day, but I definitely hired out that one. And I think I hired out this one here, but yeah, could be wrong. What's this one? Oh, wow. Look at that. That case is battered to shit. No, I don't think I hired this one. 30 zones, 5 levels. That's crazy. That's a lot of gameplay right there. It's a lot of asterisks. Golden Axe, the arcade classic. For your 8-bit console. It is... Yeah, I don't know if I've played this version of it. I might have. I don't know. It's not that memorable if that's the case. I think stick to the tried and true Mega Drive / Genesis. Alex Kidd, The Lost Stars. I remember playing this game at a friend's place, and it's actually, you know, of course, Alex Kidd in Miracle World is built into the console, but yeah, this is one. I wanted to trade one of my games with him, and he wouldn't do it. And I'm glad he wouldn't do it, because this game isn't that great. It's actually shit. Like, all you do is walk in a direction. You don't... Like, you've got an attack button, but it doesn't do shit most of the time until you get this item. And then when you've got the item, like, even then, it's still useless against most enemies. So, yeah, this game is kind of trash. Wouldn't bother with this. It looks colourful and cool. You're just like, wow, that's what really attracted me to it. But then when you play it, it's actually pretty mediocre. Not very good. I love that art style, though, of Alex at the front. I think that was on the Sega box. On the Master System, Sega Master System box. That same graphic. And it just looks cool. I love the way they've drawn him and stuff. Look at his little chubby cheeks. That's so cool. So then we have... that looks weird as well. He's got real big hands. That's the kind of martial art that he practices. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, he can make his fists go real huge. Alex Kidd in High Tech World. This one has nothing really to do with punching. I don't even know if you can punch in this whole game. Which is weird, because it's got him punching... I'm guessing they tried to cash in on Miracle World and be like, oh, yeah, check out Alex. He's like punching all the bad guys. It looks real cool. But what actually happens is this one is a totally different sort of gameplay style to the other games again, even compared to this one, where it's sort of like an RPG and you go around talking to people and stuff. So that's weird. Very, very weird. Alex Kidd in Shinobi World. Well, they tried to do a lot with Alex, didn't they? This one's actually quite fun, though. It's got the cool music of Shinobi. You can definitely tell that it's a nod to Shinobi. But yeah, it's got some pretty cool mechanics. It's quite cartoony. It's kind of hard to make out what the fuck's going on in these screenshots, but trust me, it's pretty fun. Give it a go if you can. Oops, blurry. Alright, Bonanza Bros. Yeah, I can't remember. I think this one here is you take turns as well. A lot of these games where you take your turn after your friends had their go and they've died or whatever. And you're like, yeah, I'll show you how it's done, bitch. But yeah, these are quite fun. The Mega Drive version's probably better in my opinion, because you can both play at the same time. And, you know, the story of this is you are bank robbers and you've got to pretty much rob the banks. But of course, in like Western regions, that's the story in the Japanese one, I think, from what I've read. But in like the US and Western countries, they tried to say that what does it say? Robo and Mobo, the infamous bungling burglars, are up to their necks in trouble. The chief of police has recruited them to clean up his town. If they fail, they land in jail. Okay, that has nothing to do with what it is. They reckon that that they're there to test the security systems in the banks or whatever. That was the cover up. But in Japan, they are just criminals, so it's quite funny. Psycho Fox, that was quite a fun game. Very hard to find, but I managed to get a copy. It's kind of frustrating as hell, because he takes too long to kind of gain momentum when you're walking. And yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable, but hey, it's quite fun. You play as these other characters. They're on the front of the box here. You've got of course, you've got Psycho Fox, and you've got like Okay, I can't seem to find them. But there's like a, oh yeah, there's a little tiger dude. There's a bird. Yeah, there's like a monkey or something, or a hippo as well, from what I remember. Thunderblade, that's the other top-down shooter that is really fun. It plays a lot different to the Mega Drive / Genesis version. They've got like this one's more of a top-down shooter, whereas the others are like a sort of like a, you know, the view behind the helicopter kind of thing, like a 3D-esque. I think those levels exist in this as well, but as bonus levels. So it's actually a hell of a good time, this game. Very hard. I have to play the crap out of it one day. 4 levels, oh, is it? Yeah, 4 levels / stages or whatever in 12 rounds. So yeah, pretty cool. Very fun game. Okay. Then we've got Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. This one's balls to the walls hard. Don't let the cute graphics fool you here. This is hell on a cartridge. Got Bart vs. the World. Yeah, I never really played Castle of Illusion when I was younger. But yeah, I played Land of Illusion. So, Bart vs. the World. This isn't one that I hired out when I was a kid. A Simpsons game. You'd think it would be really, really cool, but it kind of sucks. But I got it anyway because, you know, nostalgia and whatnot. Very strange. There's like a slide puzzle in this one. I think you, yeah, it's very weird. I don't understand. I just don't understand. So we got Ghostbusters. Oh boy. I'm a fan of the Angry Video Game Nerd. Well, I was, not so much now. He doesn't really put out many videos. His older stuff I really liked. So yeah, Ghostbusters, man. Watch his review for Ghostbusters. It's just perfect. It's pretty much what happened to me. I hired this game out when I was a kid, thinking, wow, you know, this is going to be the best game ever. Like, you just go around blasting ghosts. But it turned out that it's nothing like that. You go around on this stupid mini-map and do a whole bunch of other, like, crap. I don't know. I won't get into it, but it is absolute bollocks. And I suggest you go check out his review. I'll leave a link in the description, actually, if I can. Vigilante. I love this cover. Look at him. He's like smiling as he's getting smacked in the face. Like, and this guy looks like Sylvester Stallone. It must have been the inspiration. And he's like, who hits like that anyway? If it's freaking like nunchucks. I don't know. It's hilarious. Then you've got yeah, this is a side-scrolling beat-em-up. Quite a cool one from memory, but it controls really weird. It's not like, if it controlled like Double Dragon, it would be a lot better, I reckon. Anyway, last 3 are, oh, there we go. Last 3 we've got Super Smash TV. Not Super Smash Bros. Sorry, guys. Super Smash TV. I think it's a game show where you pretty much got to like fight for your life. Yeah, and it is quite cool from memory. Very cool arcadey kind of game. See like all these bad guys in the background with like bats and shit, and you just like, you and your buddy got to take them all out. I think it's, I haven't really played too much of it, but yeah, 2 players. World Class Leaderboard. Well, we won't stay on this one for too long because, yeah, it's just golf, and I haven't really played it, so I can't really comment on shit I haven't played. Shadow Dancer. Oh my gosh, this game is freaking hard. It is so fun, though. I actually am kind of addicted to it. Shadow Dancer, The Secret of Shinobi. I think, yeah, this is one of the Shinobi-ish games. The graphics are actually really good for the time. And the camera is quite close to the sprites, like it's, you know, quite big sprites. And yeah, it's really, really cool. It reminds me of this game I played on, I think it was on a Neo Geo machine. And the guy was like wearing red though, from memory. And like, I don't know, I remember the start of it. I just can't for the life of me remember the game. It's very rare, if anything. If anyone knows the name of it, please let me know. It's it was on
Neo Geo, and it started off the intro. The guy would kind of like walk closer to the screen, and he'd jump up and then like slash down with his sword. There's like cherry. I think there was cherry blossoms too, from memory. I can't remember. It was, yeah, I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but it was such an awesome game. Anyway, guys, that is my Master System collection. Oh man, I've got old man joints. Oh, okay. My body's trying to kill me. It's okay. Okay, so yeah, now I've got to clean up all this shit. So, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I hold this collection very dear to me, as you can tell by the way I've scattered it all over the floor. And I will see you in the next one.